Lesson 131. Don't be so sure. Listen to the tape, then answer this question. What's the problem about deciding on a holiday? Where are you going to spend your holidays this year, Gary? We may go abroad. I'm not sure. My wife wants to go to Egypt. I'd like to go there too. We can't make up our minds. Will you travel by sea or by air? We may travel by sea. It's cheaper, isn't it? It may be cheaper, but it takes a long time. I'm sure you'll enjoy yourselves. Don't be so sure. We might not go anywhere. My wife always worries too much. Who's going to look after the dog? Who's going to look after the house? Who's going to look after the garden? We have this problem every year. In the end, we stay at home and look after everything. Lesson 133. Sensational news. Listen to the tape, then answer this question. What reasons did Karen Marsh give for wanting to retire? Have you just made a new film, Miss Marsh?
Yes, I have.
Are you going to make another?
No, I'm not. I'm going to retire. I feel very tired. I don't want to make another film for a long time. Let's buy a newspaper, Liz. Listen to this. Karen Marsh, sensational news, by our reporter Alan Jones. Karen Marsh arrived at London Airport today. She was wearing a blue dress and a mink coat. She told me she had just made a new film. She said she was not going to make another. She said she was going to retire. She told reporters she felt very tired and didn't want to make another film for a long time. I wonder why.
Lesson 135. The latest report. Listen to the tape, then answer this question. Is Karen Marsh going to retire, do you think? Are you really going to retire, Miss Marsh?
I may. I can't make up my mind. I will have to ask my future husband. He won't let me make another film.
Your future husband, Miss Marsh?
Yes. Let me introduce him to you. His name is Carlos. We're going to get married next week. Look, Liz, here's another report about Karen Marsh. Listen. Karen Marsh, the latest. At her London hotel today, Miss Marsh told reporters she might retire. She said she couldn't make up her mind. She said she would have to ask her future husband. She said her future husband would not let her make another film. Then she introduced us to Carlos and told us they would get married next week. That's sensational news, isn't it, Kate? It certainly is. He'll be her sixth husband.
Lesson 137. A pleasant dream. Listen to the tape, then answer this question. What would Julie like to do if she had the money?
Are you doing the football pools, Brian?
Yes, I've nearly finished, Julie. I'm sure we'll win something this week.
You always say that, but we never win anything. What will you do if you win a lot of money?
If I win a lot of money, I'll buy you a mink coat.
I don't want a mink coat. I want to see the world.
All right. If we win a lot of money, we'll travel around the world and we'll stay at the best hotels. Then we'll return home and buy a big house in the country. We'll have a beautiful garden and...
But if we spend all that money, we'll be poor again. What will we do then?
If we spend all the money, we'll try and win the football pools again.
It's a pleasant dream, but everything depends on if.
Lesson 139. Is that you, John? Listen to the tape, then answer this question. Which John Smith does Graham Turner think he is talking to? Is that you, John? Yes, speaking. Tell Mary we'll be late for dinner this evening. I'm afraid I don't understand. Hasn't Mary told you? She invited Charlotte and me to dinner this evening. I said I would be at your house at 6 o'clock, but the boss wants me to do some extra work. I'll have to stay at the office. I don't know when I'll finish. Oh, and by the way, my wife wants to know if Mary needs any help. I don't know what you're talking about. That is John Smith, isn't it? Yes, I'm John Smith. You are John Smith, the engineer, aren't you? That's right. You work for the Overseas Engineering Company, don't you? No, I don't. I'm John Smith, the telephone engineer, and I'm repairing your telephone line. Lesson 141. Sally's first train ride. Listen to the tape, then answer this question. Why was the mother embarrassed?
Last week, my 4-year-old daughter, Sally, was invited to a children's party. I decided to take her by train. Sally was very excited because she had never travelled on a train before. She sat near the window and asked questions about everything she saw. Suddenly, a middle-aged lady got on the train and sat opposite Sally. "Hello, little girl," she said. Sally did not answer, but looked at her curiously. The lady was dressed in a blue coat and a large, funny hat. After the train had left the station, the lady opened her handbag and took out her powder compact. She then began to make up her face. "Why are you doing that?" Sally asked. "To make myself beautiful," the lady answered. She put away her compact and smiled kindly. "But you are still ugly," Sally said. Sally was amused, but I was very embarrassed.
Lesson 143. A walk through the woods. Listen to the tape, then answer this question. What was so funny about the words on the sign? I live in a very old town, which is surrounded by beautiful woods. It is a famous beauty spot. On Sundays, hundreds of people come from the city to see our town and to walk through the woods. Visitors have been asked to keep the woods clean and tidy Litter baskets have been placed under the trees, but people still throw their rubbish everywhere. Last Wednesday, I went for a walk in the woods. What I saw made me very sad. I counted 7 old cars and 3 old refrigerators. The litter baskets were empty, and the ground was covered with pieces of paper, cigarette ends, old tires, empty bottles, and rusty tins. Among the rubbish, I found a sign which said, "Anyone who leaves litter in these woods will be prosecuted."